It's a very special day. We've got Suzy Wraines joining us talking about confidence in visibility. And I'm thrilled to dig into Suzy's story. She's very willing to share about her visibility journey. So it's super exciting. And as a trauma-informed business coach, she's bringing some incredible insights for us that are unique in this space. So this is really, we kind of call this health-centered business coaching that Suzy's doing, taking a business coaching approach, but being aware of health. Suzy's a former ER Army medic turned trauma certified business coach, helping six-figure healthcare professionals heal while they build their entrepreneurial dreams. So we'll be talking about showing up confidently when visibility feels scary, about discovering how healing trauma unlocks authentic business success as well. And Suzy works with high-achieving women, particularly physicians and nurse practitioners earning six figures who are 10 plus years into their careers. And she's going to share her journey from controlled military environments and experiencing PTSD to the uncertain world of entrepreneurship. So if you've ever felt that fear before hitting go live or wondered why visibility feels so uncomfortable, then this conversation is going to give you real insights. So Suzy, welcome. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Nina, and thanks for the wonderful introduction. I'm thinking as I read and listening, going, I have done all that.
Yes. It's amazing what we can pack into a career, isn't it? And all these things that you draw on in your work, it's such a unique and fascinating combination. So I can't wait to dig into that a little bit more. And let's talk about the visibility that you've achieved now. So you are actively visible through your podcast, through LinkedIn, guest speaking, and running retreats. How has your public influence changed? How has it grown? And who are you reaching today with your message?
I love this question because you make me think about what it was like before I was visible. So it's like the very beginning. When I first started my business, all I was going to do is write a workbook. I wasn't going to do like full-blown website and show up in a podcast and be on interviews like this. It's like, I'm just going to publish a book that people can buy and I can just stay out of it. And so it's been a huge evolution from that point, and a healing journey. And that's why I speak to the healing properties and trauma. It does show up when we want to be visible. And so I went from writing a workbook to coaching people privately to having a website and then starting an audio only podcast. So that was my first voice visibility, still on my healing path, still afraid to just step out there. And I mean, I'm live on LinkedIn with you today. That would not be happening. So it really was what showed up for me was what's happening in my body energetically when I'm getting ready to show up. Before I hit record on my first podcast episode, I had to really like check in with myself and say, Suzy, people are going to be listening to this. So what do you have showing up right now? Are you feeling nervous? Are you worried what people are going to think? Are they going to like it? Are they not going to like it? And then I did that for a year. Then I jumped into, I was watching a YouTube video and it was on podcasting. And they said, if you want to up-level your podcast, you need to do video. And I was like lump in my throat. Like I could feel myself sweating. My heart started racing. And I'm like, oh, I got to do it. I just have to show up. So it's a process. I like to tell people you don't just wake up in the morning and go, okay, I'm okay with being visible now. I'm just going to put it all out there and just show. Maybe some people do. That wasn't my story. I had to gradually, and even coming on here with you, when you reached out to me, I was like, she's a visibility expert. That's uncomfortable. Because you look at everything from visibility, and you and I've talked about this, and it's so much about what we have in confidence internally, what we're going through before we can just jump on a stage like this.
Yes.
It's all happening internally before it's external. And so if the internal is not there, you're not going to make it to the external. And no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't happen. I mean, most people they end up doing things to avoid it. And that was
Mm,
my thing. Well, I'll write a workbook or I'll just do
mm.
audio. It's like always pushing it to the side. And now I'm
Yes.
like, I'm a podcast host. I'm going live with you. I'm showing up in places I never would now. And we're going to talk later about in person. But so
Yeah.
far, that's where I am at on my journey. I'm
Yeah.
mostly online and
Yeah.
I do retreats. So my in person
Mm,
right now is the retreats that I host and
mm.
co-host.
Yeah, amazing. And I love how you really contrast those, the workbook, the way to stay not visible, and then to actually, that transition where you've decided it's time to show up. So what difference do you think it makes to people when they can see you, when visibly you are there and they get to see you? What difference do you think that makes in terms of your interaction with your audience?
I actually like it now that I've overcome the fear of it. Um, I like people to know me. Like I really want people to get to know me, and I feel like through and it's different for everybody, but I think video and live, it's a quicker trust. So I
Mm,
can use the example of you and I meeting. You messaged me, we chatted a little bit. Okay, interesting. I was asking questions, wanted to know a little bit more. And then when we met on Zoom, it was like click. Like there was an instant, I'm
easy.
comfortable with Nina. I'm
Yes.
comfortable in this space. Let's keep going. And then the momentum keeps going, the energy keeps going. And the opposite can happen. We could have met on Zoom and I went, not a good fit. You could do
Yeah.
the same thing. So I
Yeah.
really truly believe that visibility in video and in person really it breaks the timeline of trust because eventually
Yes.
you'll get there,
It's so
but it
good.
just makes it faster.
It's that speed of trust piece where people can instantly get a read on each other and understand, is this a room I want to be in? I just love how you've described that. Thank you. That's so cool.
Mm.
And so in your own journey where you're now so visible, you mentioned this amazing transition to me by contrasting your experience with 300 soldiers in the army where you needed to get up and talk to them. And so what shifted for you? How did you feel? How did you feel in that moment? And then, now to where you are now, something's shifted. So what has shifted?
So I'll give you a little backstory of that. I know you and I talked about this for the people that are watching. I was in the Army, I was a medic. One of our jobs was we had to give briefings around what was happening medically. And this was around the time that we were going into Iraq as in the US. So we had large groups of soldiers, 300 plus a day or a couple hours. We like thousands within a day we would process.
Yeah.
Processing meaning giving them information they needed. So having
Mm,
to speak in front of 300 at a time, they came in throughout the day. And I remember my boss, which in the military you have to do, you take orders, like you don't get to say no.
yeah.
You can't say no.
Yeah.
That's number one. I knew I couldn't say no. I couldn't hide from it. I couldn't avoid it. I had to do it. That was the number one confidence boost. It gave me a
Mm,
little bit of an extra, like, I can't say no to this, so I just have to go with it.
yeah.
The second thing was authority. I knew what I was talking about. And I remember feeling nervous. I remember
Mm,
um, having those sensations in your body. Your heart rate goes up and you're sweating and you're like, oh, is my voice going to crack? And I had a microphone because I had to talk to a big group. And I just reminded myself, you can't say no. And you know what you're talking about. So just do it. And it helped me understand that even with the fears that I had of speaking up, which was a big one that I learned later when I was in my
mm,
entrepreneur journey, I learned that that was actually a core childhood wound because I'd been made fun of. When I would speak, I got
mm.
made fun of. So my nervous system was already putting up defenses going, I don't want to do this. I don't want, but I had to. So I overcame that through you have to do it and you know what you're talking about. So I
Mm,
just took a deep breath and I remember this so clearly. I love that you brought this up because I haven't thought about it in years. And I just did it. I
yeah.
just stepped into that identity of I know what I'm talking about. And I had a list. I mean, I had notes what I was supposed to talk about. And I just did it. And I
Yeah.
realized in that moment, all 300 of them, which was brilliant with the military, they all had to listen to me.
They had to listen. They were under
They
orders
had
to
to,
be part
they
of
were
your
told they had to listen. Yeah. So instantly I got, oh, I found my authority in the medical field because
Mm,
in the military, we were set apart because we had a specialty. And
mm,
so anytime something came up and they were like, we need medical advice, they would go to where we were and they would ask our team, what is it
mm,
that we need to know? What do we? So I started to build more confidence with my knowledge. And I
mm,
think that clicked something in my nervous system to allow me to say, if you understand what you're doing, and you
mm.
don't have to be an expert, but you know what you're saying, you have authority with it, instantly builds credibility and confidence. And
Yes.
that ties in with when you do live speaking because
Yes.
people feel that. They could feel my energy before I even talked.
Yes. So love that. I so love that. And it's such a perfect example of where an experience can give us a quantum leap, where suddenly you saw yourself differently. You went from being, I'm not that woman to, wait, I am that woman. It was almost that level of shift. So you put yourself into that situation and chose to go with it, and it's such a beautiful example of that quantum leap experience. So now you work with healthcare professionals and especially people who are dealing with trauma while building their business. So what makes your approach different, and why is the nervous system response so critical for our entrepreneurial success? Or I guess we could apply that to people who are in a career as well, but what is it about that nervous system response that is so critical for success?
Yeah, I want to say this applies to everything. So even like relationships, home, family, like all of it.
Mm,
Again, I specialize with medical on purpose because I came from an environment that was full of you had to take you took orders. First of all, you either were giving
mm,
orders or you were taking them to provide healthcare for a person, and if you made a mistake, that person could get sicker or die. So
mm,
it wasn't, you didn't have a choice to be accurate. It was like you
mm,
really were under that pressure all the time. Your nervous system programmed it into making sure that you are constantly on all the
mm,
time, which is not
mm,
healthy for your nervous system. For those of you that understand medicine and the body, our physiology is affected every time we're under stress. But as medical professionals, we're under stress like that in our daily job. Just like a firefighter or police officer, like all of the ones that are in those high pressure
mm,
environments, we're constantly in that stress response. So our nervous
mm.
system finds ways to protect us. And it can be in so automatic, happens
Yeah.
automatically. We don't know it's happening. So as an entrepreneur, when we want to start a business, most people will say to you, you make mistakes, it's okay. You can, it's failure, it's not failure, you're just learning. Well, nobody wants someone to practice learning on them medically.
No, you
I
don't
don't
want to
know
be the
any
one.
doctor that goes, let's just try this and see what happens. They
What
have
does this scalpel
protocols and
do?
procedures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look
Exactly.
at that.
Let me just see what happens. Yeah, let me just see what it's always driven by proven techniques that work.
Mm,
Like it's
mhm,
always done by proof that it works.
mm,
And then you go out into entrepreneurship and it's like, make your own schedule, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine. And the nervous system is like, no, it's not.
yes.
I had to overcome, I had a subconscious belief that I found when I worked with my trauma specialists that when I worked with clients, I was running a program that said if I don't help them, they will die.
Mm,
That's not happening
doesn't
on
make
Zoom.
sense, but
As far as I know, that's not a true statement. Yet my nervous system was running that. And so it leads to procrastination, again, avoiding or not taking an opportunity and not understanding really why. Like there's other things that come up, or you're too busy, or this happens, or you decide, I just don't want to start yet. A lot of it is programmed in, I'm just going to stay in the safe zone of my job because I know what to do. If I go over here, it's scary. So I'm just not going to do it. Most of the time it's avoidance, but a lot of times it's really self-sabotaging.
mm,
So that's why I work with medical professionals because I have the experience of going through that myself and the
mm,
understanding that the underlying programming is really doing a lot to our system that's keeping us from achieving the things that we want to successfully.
And I love that you've clarified that that's the what could be underlying, but the experience people have might be something a lot less significant. It almost seems innocuous that it's just not taking that opportunity or not exploring this, or oh no, I just don't feel like that today. And those little brush offs that really are a symptom of something much deeper. So what's it like for people to tackle these things with you? Do they give us a sense of the experience where people actually come to shift that nervous system response?
Yeah. So the biggest thing, and anybody can do this, anybody watching, anybody listening, whatever, all of us can do this. So I'm going to challenge you to test this theory out when sometime after we're done. All you have to do is pause and ask yourself a why question at least 5 times. So, for example, if you're like, I'm going to use a newsletter because that's what had been a procrastination for me. And I know you're going to share it, but I just started my new newsletter and it's been such a big accomplishment for me because it is an underlying response that I had that I figured out and I've been working through getting to this point. So it's a great example. Okay, Suzy, why have you not started your newsletter? Answer that question. Okay, I'm going to answer that question. I don't have time. Why don't you have time? Well, that one is a little harder to answer because I do have time. So the first answer was like, well, I don't have time. But then, oh, wait a minute, I do have time. So why are you not doing it with the time you have? There's number 3. It's getting a little deeper to why I'm not doing this thing. So just taking a minute and go through and go as far as you have to go to get to the honest answer. My
Mm,
honest answer was I didn't want to show up in that way.
yeah.
I didn't want to be talking to people in a newsletter all the time, repetitively about myself.
Yeah.
Yet I have a podcast.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
visibility in different ways. I can talk on my podcast all day long, but you tell me to write something down, it's like it goes to the heart core of me
Yes.
more than just speaking. Maybe
Yes.
because I don't know what it is. There's something about me that I really like to talk and I like to explain things. And maybe what you and I talked about at the beginning, I feel like people trust me when I speak to them. I feel like they don't trust me when I'm just writing. There's a new one. That one just
Mm,
came to the surface. This is
right.
real time. This is what happens when you take just a minute. And this is what I do with my clients. I just hold the space with them and
Exactly.
I just get them to answer questions. I just let
Mm,
them talk. And
mm,
eventually they go, oh my God. And I just did that.
yeah.
I don't think people trust me as easily when it's in writing versus live.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a nut cracked.
I love that. What's so great is that like you just gave us that window into how you can get practiced and actually going deeper and not accepting the surface experience of just the quick brush off or the I don't have time, and thinking, wait, if that's something that's going to serve me, if that's actually visibility that I know achieves my purpose and is going to serve my audience and is the reason I'm here, then why? And going into that root cause analysis, the 5 whys. It's brilliant. I use that in management consulting quite a bit, and I use it personally myself as well. It's a brilliant technique, and amazing how often 5 is enough to kind of get to the point where you can't ask another why because you've got to the bottom. So it's a really good one. Thank you so much for that. That's brilliant. And then you mentioned as well that you're moving from being comfortable with in person to more online, and this is probably part of it is that newsletter. So, um, and we were mentioning there that that shift can be challenging. And what are you learning about yourself in the process? I think you've just given us a window into some of what you're learning. Is there anything else that you've been learning in the process there?
Yeah, I would say I'm online more than I'm in person. And the challenge for me has been how to show up in person. When I think about it, I get nervous. And even though I know the trust is quicker and the relationships build faster, I know all the good,
Mm.
positive things about going live in person. And I see it in my retreats that it's amazing. There's a piece, and I haven't gotten there yet. I'm working on it. But I want to say, I think it's a control my environment setting. So when I'm
Mm.
in retreats, that's something I've created or I'm co-creating with people. So I've designed what the environment's going to be. If I
That's
go
good.
speak on a
Yeah.
stage somewhere, or I go speak for somebody else, I don't know. Unless I've been there before, it's brand new. And again,
Mm.
go back into the nervous system. The unknown and new stuff is scary. So our nervous
Yeah.
system automatically is protecting us from something
Yes.
that might be dangerous, even though it doesn't know. And
Yes.
so I think that's one that I'm working on. And
Yeah.
that's what shows up for me is I can control my space here when I'm online. I can control where I'm going at a retreat and what I'm doing because it's my retreat or I'm co-creating. But to step out and like Nina, if you were like, come to New Zealand and we're going to do an onstage thing together and we're going to talk together. And I would be like, give me about 5 days to like be able to be okay
Process
with the
that
thought of
possibility.
that. But when you said, hey, you want to go live on LinkedIn? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. When do you want to do it? Let's do it next week. Okay, it's great. No pause at
Yes.
all.
Yes, yes, I love that. That's a really powerful insight, that control piece, and I think that that's one of those key questions is what can't I control, and is that connected to how I feel about this? And we're so used to, controlling being one of the ways that we reduce our stress because we can take uncertainty into certainty when we control things, and it can be a very good way to manage stress, but then it's challenging when you're in visibility moments and you don't know what the audience's response is going to be. You don't know what your other speakers are going to say. It's a lot that you can't control. So I think that's a really powerful insight. And before we wrap up, Suzy, you've mentioned this fantastic newsletter that you have just started, and that is about helping people understand the energetic patterns affecting their business and their visibility. And we have dropped that into a comment on this post, so people can grab it by going to the link that is in that comment. And is there anything that you wanted to kind of mention as a final word or as a final thought for people as they consider their own confidence in their visibility?
Yeah, I want to name this is my experience and the way that I handle visibility myself. And when we were talking about in person, I like 3 different people that I know just popped into my head who love being on stage, who love being in front of people. But if I were to say, you should start a podcast, they're like, it's a little uncomfortable. So I just want to encourage the people watching. Everything is custom to you. Your
Mm.
experiences in life are what you're programmed for, and we can reprogram anything. So even if we're feeling like we're just brushing things off, maybe going a little deeper, asking those why questions, getting to the bottom of it, knowing that it can change. We can shift that energetically. What happens that's energetically, it happens first. So when I was in the army and going to talk to 300 people, I energetically became confident. I knew I couldn't say no, and I knew what I was talking about. That energy shift, it turned into external talking to everybody and having this confidence. So I can do the same thing now with anything. So just to let people know this is my experience, and there are people who are similar to me that could totally resonate and go, of course I can be online and it's no big deal, but in person scary. Then I have other people who are like, I love in person, online I don't like online so much. It just really depends on what our experiences are, and they
Mm.
differ. And so that's why I
Yes.
love what you're doing. I love that you're bringing visibility because
Yeah.
it's not just one place or another. It's everywhere. It's where
Yeah.
do you want to show up? How do
Yeah.
you want to show up? And you don't have to do all of it. You can pick what you like and just do that.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, just like I'm doing, stretch yourself in the areas you're
Mm.
uncomfortable.
Mm, yes. So many good things are outside of our comfort zone. A lot of what's in our comfort zone is already known. It's already there. A lot of the things that we want that are really great things that will change our business, change our life are outside our comfort zone. So That is such a good point. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. I want to leave us all with a quote from Brené Brown, uh, the one of the queen commentators on courage. And she says, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Suzy, for being with us. And we'll be back next week with another stream on a similar topic. Thanks.